How to be emotionally resilient. So the number one comment I get on social media is that I'm strong. The second most common comment I get on social media is, how am I like that? I personally never thought I was a strong person because I cry a lot. And sometimes I even document me crying and put it on the internet for the world to see. And people still think I'm strong. So I must be doing something right. Resilience. Resilience is a great word. It's the ability of a person to bounce back or recover from difficulties. I hoard Medium articles in my inbox, and last night I decided that I was gonna read some of the articles and not just hoard them, and I came across an article on Medium by Nick Wignall called 5 Things Emotionally Resilient People Don't Do. And if there was ever a 5-step guide on habits that I had to let go of so I could be this emotionally resilient or strong person that everyone says I am, it's this. So here are my secrets, worded perfectly by Nick, on how to become emotionally resilient. Step 1. Don't live in denial. Denial will make you feel better in the short term, but it will only make you fragile in the long term. When I have a difficult reality, I try to deal with it really quickly. Confronting the difficult situation quickly will cause you short-term pain. It just will. But in the long run, it'll be better for you because you'll build up a resistance to that short-term pain. It's hard to talk about your pain, but it's much better than bottling it up. So short-term pain equals long-term benefit. And as Nick puts it in his article, reality always wins in the end. So it's better to be on the winning side from the beginning. Step number 2, live with purpose. Purpose is sort of a weapon for emotionally resilient people. Think of it like having a map. If you have a map, it's harder to get lost. My favorite thing to say to someone who asks how I'm so positive all the time is that I'm not. I'm not positive all the time. But when I do feel those negative emotions, I let myself feel them, but I don't unpack and stay there. What's missing from my little motto there is that I don't unpack and stay there because of purpose. Now, I'm not talking about purpose in the grandiose sense where like, what am I doing with my life purpose or what is my calling kind of thing. I'm just talking about things to look forward to. Positive things to look forward to that outweigh the negative emotion that I'm immediately feeling in that situation. And I wanna make one thing clear. It's not because of luck that I have these things to look forward to. It's because I actively seek them out. For instance, I find something new to try and that excites me, but also if I can get over the challenge of that being new to me, then it rewards me. And because I know where I'm headed, which is trying that new thing, I don't get stuck in that negative emotion. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Step 3. Don't resist change. Change shouldn't be a threat. It should be an opportunity. Change is scary and hard and annoying, and I totally agree with you, but it's also uncertain. You might be thinking that makes it all the more worse, but if you see uncertainty as a threat, then it's bad. Uncertainty means that you don't know what's coming, which means that you can't prepare for it, which means that you feel unprepared. However, you can also see uncertainty as an opportunity to carve your own path. If you don't know what's coming, why wait for it to come? Why not just pave your way to it? Resilient people try to have opportunity coexist with hardship and struggle, because then they can bounce back quicker. It's so cliche to say, turn your struggle into an opportunity. And I like the way that Nick puts it in his article, so I'm gonna read it directly from there. He says, looking for an opportunity in the face of adversity isn't some cheap slogan or vacuous mantra. It's a vital psychological skill, and if you want to become more emotionally resilient, you need to practice. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. Step 4. Control your attention, not your emotion. Influence your emotions, but don't try to change them. Let yourself feel what you need to feel, but also ignore it. So if you're sad, be sad, but focus on something else. Focusing on trying to change your emotion is a waste of time because you're not gonna change it. So instead of trying to change it, own it, but do something else. I always get mad at myself for being unmotivated to write. And I spend all that time being weighed down by being mad and unmotivated that nothing ever gets done. When I just do the task anyways and put my focus there instead of on my emotion, I start to feel motivated in the process. Ignoring the emotion and controlling my attention eventually eradicates that emotion. Another one of my mottos is feel the fear and do it anyways. And that's honestly how I get through most of my unfavorable emotions in life. By the way, I finally finished that poetry anthology / short story anthology. I'm just figuring out how to use Shopify so I can put the product up online. Even with putting it out, I feel fear to do it, but I'm just gonna hit publish anyways. Okay, last but not least, step 5. Don't try to escape painful feelings. Every time you try to run from a painful emotion, you train your brain to be afraid of that emotion. So then naturally, you avoid things that will trigger that emotion. That's just a stressful life to live. Just like denial, it'll be good for you to avoid painful feelings in the short term, but in the long run, think about it this way. If you build up a fear of these painful emotions, then you're adding a layer of stress and intensity to those emotions, because now you're adding the fear of that emotion on top of that emotion itself. And then it magnifies the emotion that you're feeling, and then you get swallowed by it. Now, I'm not an angel, and I'm not perfect, and I don't always do this. I mostly try to control my intention, like I explained in the last step. But if I don't have anything to do and I have to face this painful emotion head on, I try to ask questions about why I feel the way I feel. By cultivating this curiosity, the emotion begins to feel less scary. And then in the future, when I feel the painful emotion again, it's more manageable. And if I can manage the painful emotion quicker, then I can bounce back quicker. And that's on being emotionally resilient. So those are the secrets. It's not some magical thing that people are born with. Maybe they might be born with it, but it is definitely something that you can learn as long as you practice it. It's a muscle. It needs to be worked on. So in this poetry and short story book that I wrote a poem about resiliency, about falling. And I want to share the poem with you. I'm scared, but I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyways. So the poem is called When You Fall, and it goes like this. Fall down when you must, but get back up again. For every human falls every now and then. Peaks without valleys just simply don't exist. So next time that you fall, give the ground a kiss. I hope you like the poem, and I hope it helps you.